warm welcome to you on joining my views and news. Three news stories. First one is about a top Amhara politician who was arrested this morning. Third top arrest from Amhara ethnic group, though hundreds have been arrested so far reportedly. Why was this politician arrested? Where was he arrested? Secondly, is Amhara regional president being sidelined? Amhara regional president is in a very difficult position. He is required to lead from the front, but it's not that he is very active. He is leading the operation against Fano from the front. There are some other government officials, Amhara government officials, who are trying to get close to Ethiopian PM Abiy. Last viewers, Finoth don't strike. Yesterday I reported about conflicting reports by international media about the number of casualties, about the cause of casualties. Now, an official position. Zonal officials, zones officials, they have shared details of how many were killed in the strike on Finoth Silam. We have details for you. Firstly, viewers, another top Amhara politician has been arrested. He is the one who spoke in support of Fano a few days ago. He called for dialogue. He criticized the federal government. Since last year, this Amhara politician has been facing attempts by the government of isolation. Government trying to isolate him, trying to sideline him. As I said in some previous videos, two top Amhara politicians since last year have been facing this isolation. Gaido Andergachu and Johannes Bujalu. Both are top Amhara politicians, but last year both spoke in support of Fano fighters, Fano militias. After Tamasgen Terhone, intelligence chief of Ethiopia, proposed disbandment of Fano factions, and disbandment started, these politicians opposed federal government's decision to disband Fano last year. They were removed from Prosperity Party's Central Committee. Then their portfolios were withdrawn, their security was withdrawn too. The politician arrested today is Johannes Bujalu. Johannes Bujalu a few days ago spoke at a meeting of Amhara Regional Council. He is a member of Amhara Regional Council. And there he lashed out at PM Abiy's government, saying that Amharas were being marginalized. Deliberately, Amharas were being destroyed. He called for dialogue between Fano fighters and government. He called for engagement. He called for reconciliation. At the same time, he complained that federal government was sidelining Amhara groups. Amhara groups were being marginalized. Then an audio call recording of Johannes Bujalu was leaked after his speech at the Amhara Regional Council session. That audio call was between Johannes Bujalu and Fano, East Amhara Fano commander. East Amhara Fano commander was briefing Johannes about the operations, and Johannes Bujalu was briefing the Fano commander about the session, Amhara Regional Council session. What happened there? We don't know if the audio call recording was genuine or doctored. We don't know, but government-backed activists claimed that it was Johannes who was in touch with Fano commanders. Johannes then fled. Security forces were trying to trace him. We heard reports a few days ago that Johannes had been arrested. It seems that those reports were unverified. His arrests could not be confirmed, but this morning he was arrested. Though security forces were trying to trace him since his speech at the House Amhara Regional Council meeting more than a week ago. He was traced in Bahirdar this morning, arrested there. Ethiopian National Defense Force arrested him. This is third top arrest of Amhara politicians. Christian Tadale of National Movement of Amharas arrested. Then Kasa Teshagar arrested. He is Addis Ababa City Council member. And now thirdly, Johannes Bujali arrested. Fourth arrest could be of Gaidu Gacho. Security forces surrounded his house last night after he delivered a very fiery speech at House of Representatives meeting, where he said that government had not learned from past mistakes, and what was happening in Amhara region was the result of actions of the government, that political conflicts were being created by the federal government and military means were being used to resolve the conflicts. That is why conflict after conflict. He had called for withdrawal of Ethiopian military from the Amhara region. He had called for dialogue with Fano fighters. He had called for establishment of transitional government in Amhara region. So he spoke a lot yesterday at the session of representatives of the House of People's Representatives. After that, reportedly, security forces surrounded his house. Not arrested so far, but he could be arrested. These are arrests of top Amhara politicians which are being reported. What about those who are not known people? Are they being arrested too? Yes, hundreds have been arrested so far. Arrests intensified after the imposition of state of emergency. Though arrests started before the state of emergency imposition, but after the imposition of state of emergency, arrests intensified. Human Rights Commission of Ethiopia has confirmed that hundreds have been arrested. International media is also covering. But since those who are being arrested are not well-known people, that is why media outlets don't cover their arrests. We only cover arrests of big names because they are known. Otherwise, hundreds have been arrested so far. I wouldn't say thousands. Though arrests are ongoing in different parts of Ethiopia, mainly in Addis Ababa, and then in the Amhara region as well. And these are arrests of ethnic Amharas. Who are they who are being arrested? Government fears that youths could support Fano. There are elements in Addis Ababa which could support Fano. So they are arresting those elements which could be potential recruits for Fano fighters, which could be in contact with Fano fighters. Secondly, viewers, is Amhara regional president being sidelined? Is federal government not happy with the performance of the regional president? Amhara regional president Yilkal is from Gojam, I think. And he is not being seen leading the region from the front. He is a scholar type person, does not speak much, and he is not very active, we can sum up. Amhara President and Amhara region's finance wing head. Both jointly operate accounts of the Amhara region. Their joint signatures are used to operate Amhara region's bank accounts reportedly. But federal government has made some changes. Now, Amhara region's accounts are being operated jointly by two Amhara government officials. Firstly, the finance minister, regional finance minister, Dr. Tellahun. Secondly, an Amhara Prosperity Party official, government official, regional government official, Sima Tirone. Sima Tirone is a very ambitious man. A few weeks ago, it was rumored that Sima Tirone survived after Fano fighters tried to assassinate him. We could not confirm that assassination attempt on Sima Tirone. Some people say that Sima Tirone is in touch with Fano fighters too and with federal government too. But he is a very active man, unlike Yilkal, the president. And somehow he is getting close to the federal government. Federal government wants someone in the region who can represent the government fearlessly, represent the federal government. It is difficult for regional government officials to confront Fano fighters on front lines. That is why these government officials keep a low profile, though they are heavily protected. But Sima Tirone is replacing Amhara regional president for operating of Amhara region's accounts. Does it mean that the Prosperity Party leadership, federal government are not happy with Yilkal Kifale? Yes, it could be the reason, one of the reasons behind introduction of Sima Tirone. Yilkal is in a difficult position because main battle is now being fought in Gojam. Yilkal is from Gojam. Yilkal offered dialogue to the Fano fighters a few days ago. Immediately after that, he sought support of federal government for military intervention, for the imposition of state of emergency in Amhara region. So he is basically being used by the federal government. Federal government wants a yes man in Amhara region. At the same time, it wants an Amhara regional president who is active too. Yilkal is a yes man, but Yilkal is not very active, or at least he does not show, he does not try to create impression that he is very active. Sima, on the other hand, is busy holding meetings, talking to federal government as if he is leading the region. Let's see, Yilkal could be in trouble. I think he could be removed if conflict in the Amhara region goes on. The Alivios now official position about the drone strike in Silam. Several news outlets shared conflicting reports. International media published conflicting reports too. Now, what is official position? Official position of zonal government officials. How many were killed in the strike on Silam? 70. This is now government's position. A government official position means government position. 70 were killed, 55 were injured. And if you remember, the number shared by Fano backed news sources was 300. I said that 300 people are not generally killed in a drone strike. That is not what happens very frequently. Now, government is placing the number at 70. No details about who are the victims, Fano fighters, protesters, local civilians. I think there could be a mix of Fano fighters and civilians. Again, it's difficult to distinguish between Fano fighters and unarmed civilians, but government should distinguish between foreign fighters and civilians. Civilian deaths cannot be, civilian deaths must be condemned.